Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another BlazeCast presentation. I'm your host Blaze, bringing you a game between Power Rangers and Storm Games Clan. It's a part of a best of three. Previous game, SGC picked up a really interesting lineup involving a Chaos Knight and a Lone Druid, surprisingly. Both those on the same team. I have not seen that before, but they played it really well and it was very intense, so hopefully we're going to get some nice action between these two teams again. This is part of the defense tournament, part of the knockout stages, so they are actually performing. It's a double elimination, but this is just a preliminary aspect of it, so kind of jumping off early on. And Power Rangers, like I said, they picked up the Lone Druid. They performed amazingly well with it. They dominated the lane really against an Invoker 1 versus 1, and that's why they're banning it out really quickly, just taking that off the board, not to worry about it. Now the Chen and Enchantress have both been banned out, and not going to worry about that. Power Rangers does have the first pick, so they're going to be looking for they have plenty of different options. Obviously they have Chaos Knight, Leshrac, Enigma, Invoker, a bunch of heroes like that still on the board, or they might be picking something unorthodox, and so we'll be seeing shortly what they're going to be looking at. But Darkseer band coming out and just kind of going back and forth, pop. With these bands, they know what they do not want to work against. The real key here is deciding what they actually do want to pick up and how they want to build their own team personally. Now, SGC did have a stand-in last game. Now they have their full strength going there. Granite Straffing, they got Professor Headshot, Offak, Warlog, and Tulex. And then on Power Rangers, they still have stand-in Wek, but they also have their drafters ZXC, Phanius, ASDL, and Rain. So, going into the pick stage, Lycan is the last ban out. So, like I said, Chaos Knight, Leshrac, Invoker, great potential pickups. Could see plenty of other options though. Like I said, there are some unorthodox picks out here. Forgot to mention the Nature's Prophet, amazingly very powerful hero on the right hands, and they're going to pick him up. So Nature's Prophet obviously having that potential to gank at a very long range at a very early stage of the game, and then also to do some very powerful pushing and backdooring right off the bat. But the Chaos Knight Leshrac lane is going to be given to SGC since those weren't banned out. Generally, if Chaos Knight, if you can't get the Leshrac, you might go for the Ancient Apparition, but they got the Leshrac, and that's going to be extremely powerful right there. Pretty much Chaos Knight lands a stun. Doesn't even have to be a really long one, but they can, the longer the better, of course. Then Leshrac follows up with a Split Earth. And just between those two heroes, the amount of damage that they can put out on a single target, incredible. And they can just 2 versus 2, they can 2 versus 1, whatever they want to do. They can bring people down really easily. No, I would say no Suicide Laner is really that safe against these two if that Chaos Knight does have the mana. And then they can transition that lane into a push. So if they're going on like the bottom lane, duel on the bottom lane or something like that, then they can immediately go and use that Diabolic Edict from the Leshrac to do a lot of damage on the towers. But to answer that, the Enigma and the Tidehunter are going to be picked up. I'm not sure exactly how they want to lane this, as they do have an option, 2 options for the jungle, both Prophet and Enigma. But someone's going to definitely have to go for a lane, possibly Enigma on the Suicide lane. Who knows? But they do pick up Enigma and Tide, and with that, they're picking up a ton of teamfight potential. What that means is transitioning to the mid-game with these AoE ultimates, the Ravage into the Black Hole, or vice versa, however it really works out. It's just going to be putting a lot of damage and a lot of disable into the enemy team. And when you have, you know, I wouldn't say they're squishy heroes, but heroes that don't have major, like, survivability, durability actives, or even passives for that matter, as the 2 heroes that have been picked up. The long duration disables going up to over 6.5 seconds if you combine the Ravage and the Black Hole together. Just a lot of pressure there. However, yeah, SGC does have a lot of options as far as making sure that Enigma does not get that Black Hole off. Not only do they already have 2 long-range stunners right off the bat with their current picks, but they also have, now that they know that Enigma is on the board for Power Rangers, SGC can try to counter pick up, try to get something that'll be able to disable that ultimate from a distance. So, I mean, they already got strength here. They might not prefer the Beastmaster, but there's Earthshaker, there's Crystal Maiden with her mini-stun from, what do you call it, Frostbite there. Plenty of different options. I mean, tons of long-range stun. VS is still on the board if they do try to do that. She was really high in the metagame not too long ago, but Mental Spirit really not as common recently. But with their current lane setup, they definitely are able to do it if they want to do a roaming VS or something like that. Definitely a viable option. But still waiting on the ban to come out from SGC. They're trying to think, what does PR want? What do they want the semi-carry pickup to really reinforce their late game? or what specifically. They got the Rubik pickup onto SGC, which I really do like that pickup, because Black Hole is one of the abilities that cannot be, like, one thing is Rubik, his ultimate spell steals the most recent spell that's been cast. Tidehunter, if he pops a Ravage and he hits Rubik with it, can immediately follow it up with an Anchor Smash. Rubik's not going to get that Ravage. Now there are exceptions to that as far as timing, little timing windows of it, but generally speaking, a Tidehunter can cover up his Ravage so that the Rubik can't get it. Enigma, on the other hand, cannot do that with a Black Hole. It's the channel, obviously, so anytime that Rubik's in there nearby, but he's not in the Black Hole itself, he always can just cast Spell Steal on that, take a Black Hole, and use it very, very effectively. So he'll probably be picking up a Force Staff or something like that for some pseudo-initiation to counter-initiate this either Ravage or Black Hole with those Spell Steals there. So that's going to be very effective. And he also, of course, has the Telekinesis, so that will stun the Enigma up in the air and be plenty sufficient to knock off the Black Hole itself. Invoker and Tinkerband coming out, so they just don't want to have to deal with those power casters. Right now, Quap Band coming out there. I'm not sure if SGC would have picked up the Quap because they do have the Rubik, who is a very powerful burst caster with his Fade Bolt as well, doing a lot of nice amount of damage there. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something they could have considered, especially with the fact that they have so many options for solo lanes and possibly jungler as well with their current setup. Now the question is, SGC, do they want to lane the Chaos Knight Leshrac bottom or mid? They could lane at top, but most likely they're going to be one of the two former lanes that I just mentioned, because it's just they kind of have that much more potency in those setups that I've seen anyways. Morphling does get banned out there. They are worried about a carry. Anti-Mage, I'm trying to think of who would be in the core. They're not going to go for a hard carry, according to what I'm thinking, as far as Power Rangers goes. They have a Shadow Demon lane support now, so that does help out. Maybe do a Shadow Demon Tidehunter lane, but and do a tri-lane there. They could do that and have Nature Prophet middle and an Enigma solo bottom. But the real thing is what kind of carry they want to set up for. And Anti-Mage is an option now that they have the Shadow Demon and SGC can't pick them up. But you could also see something like something that has a little bit earlier presence. Maybe like a Bounty Hunter or a Juggernaut could be really cool. And that could be really interesting. Wow, there it goes. I actually didn't think I'd be calling something like that. Juggernaut does get picked up for that. I haven't seen him in a pro game any time during this tournament, and not recently in any of the streams that I've been watching. So that'll be fun. I suppose it works really well if you look at the Disruption or the Gush. Either one of those can do amazing setup for that. Battle Fury it's not Battle Fury. It's can't think of the name of the skill, but his spin. But Night Stalker gets picked up for the Radiant team, SGC. Now they're going to be probably running him as a solo mid, and Windrunner as a top. I've seen Rubik run as a tri-lane before. He can be pretty effective, but I don't know if that's his optimum role, because he does very much enjoy that experience when he can get that experience gain. But one way or another, they have the lane set up, and honestly, it looks like SGC has a really powerhouse of a team. I mean, I'd be scared of half the stuff on there easily. You always have to be looking out for the Night Stalker nighttime. Big Pro Shackles can be really well set up, and that's just something that you got to watch out for constantly. Tulex is actually pretty well known for those double shackles when he can manage it. And overall, just the CK, Leshrac, the powerhouse of a lane that's coming out there. So I would say, as far as the laning phase, SGC does have a lot more of just this intimidation aspect. They have so much more potential of what they can do with it, especially if they coordinate really well. But overall, I think PR has a bit scarier mid-game with those big AoE ultimates if they can set them up. So as far as who's picking them up, Juggernaut, and let's check this, it's Blade Fury, I knew it was something like that. Anyways, yeah, I haven't played him recently, obviously. But ZXC picking up the Juggernaut, going to be laning with the Shadow Demon. Tide looks like he's going for the bottom lane, setting up a shop, trying to do the suicide there. 1 versus 2 or 3. Enigma's going to be going for the jungle, and Nature Prophet in the mid. That's what you're probably looking at. Let's check clarities. Yeah, 4 clarities. A lot of gauntlets, though. Maybe he could actually be setting up for the mid. I'm not sure. Usually you don't get gauntlets if you're going for jungle. You usually go for Basilius or Soul Ring. So that'll be interesting. But lots of action coming from SGC coming towards the bottom lane. This Tidehunter. Nice positioning as far as line of sight. If they don't look in that exact spot, or at least be in this area, I can't even draw on it, but at least be in one of those 2 areas here, they're not going to be able to see him. However, if they do see him, he's just straight up dead. There's nothing he's going to be able to do to get out of that situation. But pretty much what they want to make sure is want to make sure that they're going to be able to drop make sure that they stop the enemy team from dropping any wards, so they're going to be able to pull from this camp here into the lane and cause the grief there. Twitchy Rubik picks up his telekinesis first, but as far as what they're going to be looking for, they don't know whether or not the enemy team's there, but right now ZXC and Wax just happy to set up shop up top, where yeah, Enigma's actually going to go for the middle lane. He's going to deny an Eidolon at first, and then maybe mana up, but then come back and get another one in middle lane, and use that to micro against the enemy mid hero, which perhaps might be Night Stalker. Night Stalker does not have, he kind of has supportive items right now, if I can call it at all. He doesn't, he has some sustain. He has quite a bit of sustain, is what I'm saying. He has a lot of consumable regeneration, and usually a Night Stalker just likes to go for a pretty quick, a lot of pauses coming out, but oh well, we'll see that pretty shortly. Right now, yeah, Kranich picking up the Night Stalker, and he's got his Void already. A few minutes. Other issues. Fun stuff there. SGC is a team composed of players from the Czech Republic as well as Slovakia, so they do have a little bit of distance there compared to the Power Rangers, who are based in both Belarus and Russia. So we'll see exactly. I'm not sure what kind of server they're playing on, but one way or another, they're just trying to get a couple of kinks worked out, and after that, we'll get right into the action. Leshrac got wards. I'm not sure if he's going to be looking to block any pulls, or if he's just going to hang on to them for now to make sure that they don't have too much mobile action from that Shadow Demon. But probably you're going to see quite a bit of kill potential with this Disruption Blade Fury combo, and that's something they're going to have to watch out for. Whereas Nature Prophet, he's got a Sage's Mask and his Clarities. I think he bought a Courier or something like that based on his gold. But overall, you're not going to see too much gank action out of him. He's going to go for the farm build, pro Midas, and see if he can holla get Dollar up in the jungle. So, like I said, Vanius is well positioned himself here to try to stabilize himself in this lane. However, depending on if Kranich stays on the bottom lane to help out with this Rubik, can really be the difference between how well they shut down the Tidehunter, if they're going to be causing him problems or not. Yeah, like I'm saying, it looks like it's going to be a dual mid with the Chaos Knight and the Leshrac going up against the Enigma. Enigma is actually one of the better setups going up against the Leshrac in general, because the Edict does split based on how many nearby units are around. So it does hit a random target, and with that, it pretty much theoretically distributes the damage evenly among all the targets in the area. And with that, don't know ETA, but alright. But yeah, so I would say Enigma is overall set up to stabilize against them a little bit better with the 3 Eidolons that he can pick up from the mnemonic conversion. But in the end, Chaos Knight Leshrac is still so destructive that even without an escape mechanism, it's going to be tough for even an Enigma to handle against them, no matter what the damage is. But Windrunner is one of those heroes that can, if the timing is appropriate, be effective and survivable against this setup Shadow Demon and Juggernaut with the Windrun there. But they're probably expecting it. What they're probably planning on doing is getting the Juggernaut really close, because the Blade Fury does magic damage. Wait for her to pop Windrun instead, and then they can pop the Disruption. And then they pretty much Windrun is like 2.7 seconds at rank 1, and Disruption is 2.5 seconds at all ranks. So what they can do is wait for her to Professor Headshot to prop Windrun, and if he does opt to do that, then they can negate almost all of it with that Disruption, and that'll set up Juggernaut to be in a perfect position to activate that full Blade Fury onto the Windrunner. But Professor Headshot, very skilled player, saw him do a lot of fun action last game. And I'm sure that he knows how to deal with this lane, or at least intends to. But a lot of action going to be going across no matter where we're at. Yeah, Clarity's popping. He didn't even go back to the fountain. He just wanted to make sure he got all the experience he could. But he does have 587 HP with these +6 gauntlets. So Leshrac just going to play the supportive role, setting up the Chaos Knight, as buggy as his graphics may be, for an attempt at doing some real damage. Already blown a Split Earth, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be working for him, but interesting positioning. SD getting a conversion block on him. He's running out. He does get enough movement speed out there. does increase his movement speed by 50%, so there's no way Juggernaut can keep up with him, and he just wasted a ton of mana trying to do that. I mean, yeah, it hurts Headshot's mana a little bit, but it hurts Juggernaut's mana way, way more, and he doesn't even have clarity, so I'm not sure if... Yeah, Shadow Demon brought him 1, but from that point, Fanny is just pulling in a nice position, pretty much used one of the tangos to break down in these trees here, and with this he's getting enough experience from the lane kills and getting some overall effective. He's not getting zone free XP, which he really could be from this Rubik who's playing supportively. So Kranich is going to be the one getting the farm and focusing on farm in that solo setup, whereas the Rubik will be more supportive. And now with these guys at level 2, they definitely got to watch out. Rain playing that, picking up that Enigma, and doing well as far as denying experience and still staying in experience range overall. But when those Chaos Bolt ranks start getting up, you really have to be very careful about how that turns out. So, Nature's Prophet just happy to farm, happy to build up his possibly Basilius into more like a Midas or something for a quick farm, and trying to maximize on his GPM. Right now, I would say in the lanes, definitely the laning phase of it is definitely in the favor of SGC. They're looking at, I mean, you can just see on the CS, you got 12, 13, and 11, as opposed to 6, and the rest have 0 CS. So Juggernaut's the only one getting any CS other than their jungler, and that's really going to be hurting their early gold. However, you are looking at much more experienced distribution with the fact that they have the solo bottom, the solo mid, whereas the Nature Prophet is going to be in the jungle getting all of the experience for himself. All for Silas. But, Juggernaut, really, he needs to focus on getting as much quick, early, and effective farm as possible, because he's not really a super hard carry. His crit is nice scaling with a 35% chance. It's very reliable damage. However, it's just, he's not the most hardest carry in the game, and it's not like you get to 60 minutes and then you win like you would with a Medusa or a Phantom Assassin or a Spectre or something like that. It's based around how effective he is in the mid game, how much he can gank, how much he can pick people off with his ultimate, things like that. But Fannius literally doesn't care about the CS. 0-0 CS, just sitting in this one spot, and where this Kranich is actually sustaining the lane is perfectly fine for him to be getting as much experience as he needs to. He's not winning in experience. He's definitely a lot of denies coming out from Kranich, but he doesn't know he's here. They think that bottom's just completely empty at the moment, possibly. And he might have some suspicions, but he has not checked it out. So Tidehunter are able to get some free experience without having to worry about staying in the lane too much. But a lot of pulling and coming in from this Rubik, doing double pulls, etc. And only pulls one creep there, does not get the full wave, but just trying to deny as much experience as possible and get some farm for himself. And that's really his overall goal. And level 5 Night Stalker already, checking the levels out. Yeah, he is the highest. And then after that, yeah, Enigma getting zoned a little bit, and Juggernaut splitting some experience with the Shadow Demon. Professor Headshot, though, getting zoned pretty hard. He's playing carefully. He's not getting first blood, and that's really good for him. However, he's not even level 3. And Nature Prophet is showing up. He looks like he wants to push the tower. He's already got his Medallion. He just rushed Medallion, trying to go for some really early aggression, negative armor build, and doing a lot of physical damage there. But right now, looking for the tower. Only rank 1 power shot, because, again, she is level 2. And that can be problematic if they're going to continue to force this issue on the top tower. I don't know if Rubik's going to be looking to teleport or what. But Fanny is just kind of covering the outpost. And now he's teleporting to his tier 2 to cover as they start pushing on the tier 1 bottom. So they do have this healing ward. Rank that pretty quickly. 3% healing to max life. Will absorb quite a couple of auto attacks each on these different trends, etc. And that will give them the opportunity. But missed the first blood. Going diving past the tower. Kranich going on this Tidehunter here. Tide did TP back to tier 2 to kind of cover his tier 1 as much as he could. But Kranich finally found him out, and with that level advantage, he was able to pick him off. However, they did get the top tower. Power Rangers did effectively kill that. With his Nature Prophet, they're going to just keep on trying to push as much as they can. And so, very active play by them, and they're going to need some good power shot from this winner, who just went from level 2 to level 4, so she's doing a lot better. But she needs to have a little bit of assistance if she's going to cover all these towers. These demonic conversions can take up the tower, a couple hits there pretty well, and so can the Trents themselves. Though he is out of mana at this point. Nature Prophet teleporting back, looking for a creep pull. 45 seconds, perfect timing. or stack. He's gonna be nope, pull. Okay, and pull that to the creeps and get some action there. Night Stalker did finish off the tower, and it's gonna even them up a bit on gold. Now they got the first blood, and they're equal on towers, and it's nighttime, so he's ready for action. I'm not sure if he's gonna opt for any regen on him like a bottle, but he certainly has the benefit of the Hunter in the Night. Gonna got rank 2, gonna be looking at rank 3 very shortly. And he actually did go for the bottle, so he is ready to rock and roll with a lot of regen, ganking on the Enigma, etc. And that's going to wreak some real havoc if he's not careful. He's on his tower, but does not by any means make him safe, especially with his full mana, full HP Night Stalker. And he's going to be hunting very, very shortly. Pretty much the site, he's waiting for him to show up on the minimap, but with his improved night vision, he needs to just kind of focus on him. So CK popped his DD, and Night Stalker's just kind of covering, waiting for Enigma to try to deny. And there he saw the Eidolons. He knows they're fresh, and he's going to go for it. No stun, no Malefice from the Enigma, and with that 1 second Chaos Knight stun, just in plenty of damage coming out, DD, and going to drop down the Enigma real quick, and Leshrac gets the tower kill instead of it getting denied. So nicely done there, and that puts them in a 2-0 position and 2-1 for towers. Very nicely done there, and Tide still waiting on his Ravage. Now, like I said, this kill lane with the Battle Fury, and actually, I don't know if Shadow even got a piece of that. It looks like it just Omni slashed right through it, and he just blew his ultimate on Windrunner, and with the experience advantage and maybe a little bit of harass, she was able to get dropped down. So looking at the gold graph here, definitely an advantage for Radiant Team SGC, pulling out over 3,000 gold advantage, and just a little bit of delay with the fact that Dire had improvements in jungling, and they got a lot more farm that way. But now going much more in their favor with those past couple kills, and they're actually looking to pressure the next tower. Rank 3 Diabolic Edict doing tons of damage to this tower. They do not have the Fortify available. Shadow Demon's going to do a little bit of harassment on it, but he's not going to be able to shut it down. This Night Stalker at nighttime, way too terrifying, going for his Vanguard, and all they can do is split push on other lanes, because overall there's just too much pressure with that Night Stalker. Pretty much anybody who shows up to defend, if they're not at least 3 or 4, are going to just die outright. They do have the Black Hole available now. Urn actually coming out on Enigma just for some basic mana sustain and to make use of those gauntlets he picked up for early game survivability. And I'm not sure if he's going to be going for a mech after that, or if they're going to leave that to the Shadow Demon, but we will see. Anyways, just kind of name of the game for them is pressure right now. They want to use this nighttime effectively, and they're going to push during this night period and kind of go back, settle it down, and go back and farm during the daytime. Just trying to put as much damage into the towers while they know that they're not being defended. But it did force some action in mid from the Nature's Prophet and even from the Enigma with these summons here. So they're going to go from a defense pushing mode to pulling their Night Stalker back to their tier 1 mid. But Tulex did pick up Eidolon, so he does have a nice summon action of his own and can do some nice jungling with that. He was immediately used to the jungle, and he's going to play Jungle Enigma for a little bit. However, they got to watch this pressure on the tier 1 mid. Like I was saying, all those Eidolons can do a lot of damage along with that healing ward. So tower's pressure is going to be coming in, but Night Stalker starting some action off on Juggernaut. 3-second stun along with a telekinesis, and he's just getting bursted down so hard. No chance to Blade Fury out. Just so much burst magical damage and a little bit more Eidolon tick. He's going to bring down the Tidehunter too. So just kind of a misstep of a push. They did not need to. I mean, they had the summons to pressure it, but they just lost 3 heroes easily, and they killed the Night Stalker. It's just not what they needed to do right there. Yeah, they do have great push heroes, but right now, with that level 8 Night Stalker, there's just so much damage pressure right off the bat with that 335 Void and everything, the bag of tricks that Chaos Knight has as far as providing pressure now. Even Kranich ranking up his ulti and picking up at the level 8, so he is only running 2 points on Hunter of the Night, but he has another 60 seconds, or actually 25 seconds on the nighttime. Tidehunter gets silenced out, he gets shackled out, they're going to leave him be. He doesn't have points in Kraken Shell yet, but Windrunner trying to get out, but the Omni Slash can finish her off. She did have tangos, she could have eaten out of the trees, but that Juggernaut really quick, ZXC, bringing her down with that Omni Slash, which goes right through Windrun, and that's gonna drop her down quick. So that is 1 point of retaliation for Power Rangers, but they really gotta be looking at a way to get back in the game, because like I said, they don't have really end game heroes. Nature Prophet can surmise a very sizable GPM towards the end of the game just by his amount of mobility and potential to farm, but they really got to be looking for towers. They really got to be looking for gold for their entire team so that this Juggernaut can actually provide a lot of pressure, whatever items he decides to go with. And yeah, last hit does go to Nature's Prophet, so he's gonna get a little bit of GPM there, and maybe look for treads or something along the lines. However, Windrunner getting closer and closer to her Force Staff, already has the Staff of Wizardry, and actually opted for Arcane Boots to kind of help out this Leshrac. The Leshrac farm was not that great, so his Arcane Boots, if he decides to go them, are still going to be delayed. Tulex happy to just chill out with that rank 3 Eidolon. I think, yeah, Enigma, it only has the rank 3, and that allows just Rubik to farm happily in the jungle, and with his Arcane Boots have so much sustain. He doesn't have to worry about lane. They just pretty much bought themselves a jungle hero with this spell steal, and then he's working on his mech. He's only 600 away from that, so that's gonna be just awesome. And it's actually a really nice pick off, just spell stealing that and then not dying. You only keep this spell steal as long as you're alive, but as long as he disengaged from that team fight and used it to start farming up, really increase the overall GPM for their team. But they are looking to smoke. They are looking to put even more points on the board, trying to get a little bit more of a kill advantage than they already have. They know that there were a couple up top, and they're searching through the jungle as fast as they can. A ward does come up on the top plateau. They're going to sight Juggernaut, but they're going to be too far off from him. But the question is whether or not they can get on the Nature's Prophet. Right now, it seems like the positioning is not looking good for SGC, and the fact that he can teleport out the second he sees him. But they are going to come into the lane and just look for, instead of ganking, they're just going to go for a push. They only have about 10 seconds left on nighttime, and they need to benefit from that as much as possible. So he pops the Illusion Rune, and they're going to be looking for just taking down this tower real quick. No Fortify. Juggernaut really can't do much against this much action. He does pick up his drum, but tower goes down. Night Stalker can get the last hit on that. And they really didn't have time to split push or anything else. However, they do have the advantage now of daytime. Night Stalker's vision is dramatically reduced, as well as his movement and attack speed. And all of his abilities in general are not nearly as threatening. Okay, so ZXC doing a little bit of baiting action. They're doing a little bit of damage pressure on this tower. Tidehunter actually does get split earthed. Really nice timing on that, and a really good shackle from Headshot. Actually almost got away from Juggernaut, but the damage from Rubik and Chaos Knight can bring down the Tidehunter before he can Ravage, and the Telekinesis is going to drop down the Enigma, breaking down the Black Hole, and with a Reality Rift, he's going to be doing a lot of damage to him. Leshrac does drop down, Enigma falling down too, and now they're going to be looking for the Nature's Prophet. He has the health, but he 3-second stun going on him. He's going to drop down real quick. Now, Rubik has the Healing Ward, which is not going to really benefit him very much, but with the amount of slows and the Reality Rift, and now with the Telekinesis, they're going to drop him down too. And so double kill for Chaos Knight. Killing spree, if you look at KDA, he's doing 305, rocking that gold, and they both got Vanguard, so they can dive, they can provide as much pressure as they want to. It just goes to show, when you have a Night Stalker winning team fights during the daytime, that's when a Power Rangers really needs to be afraid. That's usually their time to shine, no pun intended with the sun. But yeah, overall, if Kranich is able to get that many kills and they're just able to provide that much pressure, really nice play against that Tidehunter, getting the silence on him into a shackle. But Tulik's going to try to come out, but he knows that he's going to take too much damage, and he gets knocked out. And with the Ravage going on to Chaos Knight, he's going to drop down too. So they did get a couple of points of retaliation. That's going to help them out a lot for the team fight that they just lost. But Kranich on the Night Stalker does fall back, and he's going to be perfectly fine with the gold that he did pick up. But yeah, just really nice. Even a rank 2 shackle was enough to make sure that that Tidehunter was disabled long enough that they could bring him down. He does have a pointing Kraken Shell, which generally means him taking damage with a damage threshold of currently 600. Every time he breaks through, takes that much damage, disables get knocked off of him. He just removes all debuffs. However, they were able to be at a range where the Ravage wouldn't have been a good radius on all of them, and they were able to do enough distant damage to burst him down before that Ravage could be a threat. And then a nice pickup on the Black Hole with the Telekinesis, stunning him out of that, really put the fight in their favor. I mean, they still have a lot of damage coming out with the Nature's Prophet and the Juggernaut, but they were able to eliminate a lot of the threats of the fight and pick off very precisely what they needed to. It's going to be really hard pressed for Rain to get out a solid Black Hole. He knows this, based on the fact that every single one of his enemy heroes has a way of disabling him out of it, and if not two. And that can be very, very frustrating trying to do a legitimately good ultimate there, but they're always going to be saving, trying to make sure that they stop that at any point in time where he does try to throw it down. So it's pretty much catch everybody or nobody for this Enigma, and that's why he's going to be opting for more of a supportive build at this point in time. But like I'm saying, Gold Graph definitely showing favor towards the Radiant, over 7,500 now. Just absolutely controlling as far as KDA. Didn't want to lose those last 2 deaths, did kind of hurt them a decent bit there. But overall, they still have a major advantage, and they're going to keep pressing that. It looks like Nature Prophet is actually going to be working on the mech. So he does have Medallion. He's going to get bonus armor from the mech itself, and that's going to be very beneficial for them. A lot of TPs coming in from bottom lane. They were doing some side pressure push. ZXC, he does do the Blade Fury, teleport out, and he's going to be fine. Magic Immune during the spin, so being able to TP out during that is pretty much unstoppable for their lineup. They have no way of negating the teleport other than killing him. And Nature's Prophet just moves back up to top lane, and that's where they're going to put their pressure now. Rank 1 ultimate for Nature's Prophet, and pretty much everybody. I don't think nobody said level 11 just yet, but that Juggernaut is nearing it, and that does add a lot of damage potential to his specifically just anybody that he focuses down, assuming there's no creeps involved. Rubik did pick up the Blade Fury, so he can do. I actually haven't seen the animation for that. I'm hoping he spins around with his staff swirling wildly, but overall, yeah, he's going to get the magic immunity along with the AoE damage potential, so that's pretty cool. But Kren is just opting for as much farm as he can during the daytime, just farm during the day, and gank and push and pressure during the nighttime, and that's just a really good balance of playstyle that he just has been benefiting from a lot. He did not want his regeneration rune to pop, then that was actually a little bit unfortunate. It's just the timing of it. He had it for the 2-minute period that he can bottle it for. It auto-activated and he wasn't able to get the mana benefit from it, so he's going to have to sip a couple bottle charges. But one way or another, he'll be alright. Going to be looking for the next rune in 20 seconds either way, so not too big a deal there. I do have a pause coming out from SGC. Not sure if they're having more of their same issues there or just a bit of lag. So they're going to try to figure out if they can do something for that. Otherwise, just to kind of recap on where we're at in the game. Moving towards mid-game, which, like I said, is the benefit of Power Rangers as far as their ultimates go. Just a lot of potential of disable, especially from that Ravage. But, oh no, not the sandwich. However, there is a gank train coming in, smoke gank, and it looks like Rubik's going to try to do some damage on this Shadow Demon real quick, and he's Battle Furying all over. Yeah, he's spinning that staff around and he's doing a lot of damage. Weck does get a disruption off, but not until after he drops. And now he does a little bit of damage, but not much in terms of retaliation for the fact that it is Artificial Night through the Night Stalker, rank 2, and it's going to be that way for another, let's say, 25-30 seconds. And they're going to use the opportunity to try and put some damage into the tower, possibly. Not too sure, but they do have a lot of creeps. They have a siege creep. Still smoking Chaos Knight. He didn't really get in the action there. Maybe waiting it out. Who knows? Oh, that's Invisibility Room. My bad. But they are doing a lot of damage with that Edict ranked 4 onto that tower. They're going to fall back now, but they just want to apply a little bit of pressure, a little bit of damage. Now that everybody's back up, they're going to fall back. Except Tidehunter comes in and nice Omni Slash onto Leshrac. He does steal the Ravage back. He does an Anchor Smash it up, and he does a lot of damage there. 3-second stun along with the bouncing around of the Fade Bolt. Now Juggernaut's trying to spin around, trying to do a lot of damage. Black Hole catching all 3 of them. Kranich dropping down pretty quickly. Juggernaut trying to do as much damage as he can. Has the Vladimirs, but Rubik trying to just escape it. He's got 13 charges with 1. He needs to get out of there. He's trading hits with him. Needs to run. And Chaos Knight just in the back, taken out. Got the kill on the Tide, going for the kill on the Enigma, and now he's going to be looking for the Juggernaut, but he doesn't have a way. 2-second Chaos Bolt's going to be enough. That Disruption does come out, buys him some time, 2.5 seconds. Power Shot's going to finish him off. Nice shot by Professor Headshot. Just proving his namesake there. Really well lined up and dropping that Shadow Demon down real quick. Nice pickup on the Rubik on that Ravage. That's right when the fight turned around for them. Again, even during the daytime, they don't really need to worry about it. They have 6 Urn charges in this Night Stalker. He needs to be doing that a little bit more aggressively, in my opinion, but he can also use it to heal up after a fight for a push, and there's benefits to that as well. But yeah, that Black Hole was really good. I honestly didn't think that Rain was going to pick up a effective Black Hole this game based on the counterpicking of SGC, but it just goes to show when you get a couple of heroes out of that, picking off the Leshrac real quick, then Rubik dropping down, they were able to get that Black Hole on 3 heroes, and it was very, very effective. It was doing a lot of damage, and it didn't end up netting them any kills, but it could have provided them a very big opportunity for some good AoE damage and pressure. Now they're looking to smoke into Roshan. They do have the healing wards, they do have the Trents coming up, and with that they do have an opportunity to get a lot of gold, a lot of experience, and right now, technically speaking, nobody knows about it. He picks up a regeneration rune, that's all he's coming for, but he is checking it out, just glancing, and they know that they're coming. 4 seconds done on the Enigma. Disruption does come in on him, but Kranich pops Nighttime. Double damage is available, and he's going to be doing powerhouse of damage, just truck hit after truck hit. Omni Slash does come out, spraying a lot of damage to bring everybody with Midnight Pulse going through, but Reality Rift, nice Sprout catching the 2 melee heroes, or Professor Headshot in there, but he does get a Shackle on the Enigma. He's going to drop down real quick. 3 seconds down on Nature's Prophet. ZXC going to drop down, and immediately after that, Nature's Prophet just really taking advantage of that positioning with SGC there. I honestly don't even know if he thought that they were doing Roshan. Obviously the smoke indicated that they might not, that they were invisible while they were going in there. But he was just kind of heading out this general direction, maybe checking Ancients or something. And it was kind of because of this ward, Power Rangers panicked and they fell out. And when they fell out, SGC just swooped in, picked them up real quick, really well coordinated, really well timed, and they took them to schooled them to town. That's not even a phrase. Making it up. Anyways, just really well played by SGC on that team fight. That's going to give them a free Rax. Maybe going to be opting for Roshan, but they do know that the Ravage is back up, or soon will be. Now, did Rubik keep that Ravage? He only has Blade Fury now, so he did die in that last fight. He did get picked off along with the Leshrac, so he just takes a Blade Fury as a reconnaissance. Not a reconnaissance prize. What is that prize? Consolation prize. There you go. Now a lot more action going on Roshan. He's got a Reaver here doing a lot of damage and using the urn to tank it up, heal up as much as possible. It's Shadow Demon getting some vision on. 4 staff going across trying to get some positioning advantage, and he power shots through on just burst of damage, dropping down the Shadow Demon, no time at all. The Reality Rift did get cancelled by, I think, a bash from Roshan, but the silence goes off on ZXC. He doesn't have his ultimate for 20 more seconds. The Ravage is available, though. He's going to be looking to use it right here. Perfect. Oh, nice Shackle Shot mini stun. He does get the Ravage going across on Chaos Knight. He's going to he only has 100 HP, gets 4 staffed out. Enigma goes for the Black Hole, and Kranich going to drop down to the track real quick for the Pulse Nova damage. Amazing, and a 2 legs gets a Black Hole right back at him. Oh, wow. Kranich going for a lot of damage onto Rain, and ZXC just trying to do as much as he can. As soon as the Silence Sense, he's going to go for a big Omni Slash, but he does get 2 seconds stun, and he's going to drop down very quickly. Can he get the Omni Slash off? He's going to manage it. He does. He does get the Omni Slash. He's going to bring down Warlog, gets killed by Rubik, and then the remaining cleanup goes from Kranich, dropping down the remaining heroes. Only Shadow Demon, who already got picked off once, and the Nature's Prophet remain. Awesome team fight right there, and they're going to pick up Roshan because of it. Just really nice pickup from Rubik, getting that Black Hole and doing amazing counter Black Hole. First catching 2 or 3 heroes on Power Ranger side, and then SGC coming right back to it and bringing in their damage pressure there. So Omni's Juggernaut was able to get the kill onto the Chaos Knight, which did help him out, but overall it's just really nice team play, really nice team fight. And with that, Rubik pick showing its power and turning the team fight right back on the Power Rangers. Really just showing who's boss in these team fight, and it's really just causing them a lot of problems right now. Roshan did drop to SGC, the Radiant team, and now the Night Stalker has an Aegis, a second life, and soon to have a heart. Just a little bit more farm in that direction. I'm not sure why. I guess he's saving his double damage for enemy hero kills. But overall, just so much tankability, over 2100 HP, level 15, soon to be level 16, and when he gets that, he can make it practically permanent night. He can make it pretty much for every, is it 80 seconds? Yeah, 80 seconds of night, there's only 40 seconds of daytime, and he can just keep that up consistently. And he did finish his heart. I didn't know what was on the courier, but he had enough gold right there, and now he has a heart. He has 2790 HP, regenerating it whenever he's out of combat, and he does so much damage as well, almost 200. Now there is a lot of action coming in from the top lane, swooping into these 2 unsuspecting heroes. He does have the Wind Run available, but he also needs to use that 4-staff perfectly. He gets Gush, gets the ultimate from Shadow Demon. He's just going to fall out. He knows he's going to drop down. They're going to sacrifice him and make sure the Night Stalker gets out of there. So Nature's Prophet getting the kill on that one, and sorely needed. As far as his current items go, he does have Medallion and he does have Mech. That brings his armor up to 6 plus 10, or 6 plus 16, which is a very considerable amount of physical mitigation, but there's still a lot of magic damage coming out from SGC that he needs to worry about there.
Pull roots and run.
So, He got a BKB attempt on Enigma. If he is able to get that off, then there's really nothing that SGC can do to stop him other than stealing his black hole. Rubik can still spell steal BKB units, and black hole, of course, affects BKB units. So if he was able to steal the black hole, he would be able to stop the Enigma black hole in return. But if Enigma is able to farm up his BKB, 3 seconds stun coming down the Juggernaut. Ravage, Blink, Ravage coming in. Nice damage coming across from that. Watching Rubik spell steal here. He does have Black Hole coming up in 15 seconds, but just a lot of burst damage coming across. Warlock needs to watch his health, but Kranich couldn't care less. He has the Aegis, he has the Heart, he has the double damage. He's just going to town and it drops down the Nature Prophet. And now nice stun onto the Enigma. He does have his Black Hole, but he gets dropped down too quickly with that Reality Rift. And nice Shackle going across between the Enigma and the Juggernaut, just dropping down really quickly in that Black Hole to make sure he's secured. And that was kind of a all-in last attempt effort for ZXC to try to drop down a Rex attempt on SGC. They didn't even drop the Aegis. They just lost 3 heroes for nothing, and they're calling GG. So good luck in further in the tournament. That was the best of 3, and SGC had already won the first one. So with that second win, they're moving on, whereas PR goes down to the losers bracket. So Kranich picking up another kill. Oh no, not the disruption. Anyways, but just very well played by SGC. Jumping into show you guys the gold graph real quick, showing the experience graph. Just a huge. It's definitely swooped up at that about 17-minute mark. They started winning team fights very effectively, and that Night Stalker playing very well with that supportive Rubik on the bottom lane, pulling constantly and really reducing the potential of that Tidehunter overall. Kranich, I love his play there. I generally opt for an Aghanims over Vanguard on Night Stalker just because I love that vision, but overall he was a beast of a tank, and he put out a ton of damage in those last fights, so no reason to question him. They did extremely well. You can see KDA, he went 10, 0, and 12 just all over the map, and his buddy Chaos Knight picking up 8, 2, and 13 himself. So amazing play there, and good game, well played. So here comes the scoreboard, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been a BlazeCast presentation. I have a YouTube channel, if you're probably at it, BlazeCasting. But if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube video below, just some feedback, any way I can improve or work on some things for you guys, or just a good job, any kind of commentary as far as how good I'm doing or how poorly I'm doing, just let me know. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.